The Unlocked Hour, The Home Invasion and the Child. I was only 8 years old, the youngest by a decade, when I woke up to a panic downstairs. I cracked my bedroom door and heard my parents' low, frantic voices. My brother, Chris, had been in a bad car accident. My mother came to the base of the stairs, her face pale in the faint hallway light, and commanded, "Go back to bed, honey. Everything is fine." They rushed out. I heard the front door slam, a sound that cut the house into two halves, before they left and after. I listened to my mom and went back to sleep. But hours later, I woke up again. The front door closed downstairs. This time it was a quiet, deliberate click followed by footsteps. I relaxed, assuming my parents were back. I heard them moving about, not talking, just soft thuds and drawers quietly sliding open and shut in the kitchen. I distinctly heard the heavy sigh of the refrigerator door opening. It must be Chris, home late and hungry, I reasoned, soothing myself with the predictable chaos of my older brother. The hidden detail. The footsteps moved from the kitchen. Slowly, purposefully, they started ascending the staircase. Thump, wasp, thump, wasp. They were getting closer, louder, until they reached the top landing, pausing directly outside my door. My bedroom door began to open. Not with a creak, but a smooth, agonizingly slow push. I lay perfectly still, my eyes wide and fixed on the gap. There were no lights on, but the minimal ambient glow from the street formed a pitch-black mass at the doorway, the distinct silhouette of a very tall head frozen, watching me. I whispered, "Dad?" No reply. "Chris." Silence. Finally, with my voice shaking, "Who's there?" The head didn't move. Then the door was pulled quietly and slowly shut. I heard the receding footsteps go back downstairs. Confused, not yet terrified, I crept out of my room and followed the sounds in the dark. As I neared the kitchen doorway, I froze again. A figure of impossible height was standing motionless in the middle of the kitchen. They weren't moving towards the doors, but were fixated on the white corkboard hanging by the phone. I whispered, "Dad?" The air shifted and a voice, deep, scratchy, and unrecognizable, came back, "Go back upstairs." The sheer wrongness of that voice and the command shattered my logic. I turned and ran, scrambling back under my covers. I couldn't understand why my dad's voice sounded so wrong, so cold. The lighter in the list. I lay there for what felt like an eternity. Then a new sound, a quiet, metallic flick, followed by a momentary whoosh. The intruder had lit something. I smelled a faint, sharp scent, sulfur and butane. The light was momentary. I heard the soft, shuffling sound of paper being pulled from the corkboard. Pause. Then the steps returned. They were quicker now, no longer the slow, menacing thump. Pause. They were heading back upstairs. I squeezed my eyes shut. I knew they were coming for me. The bedroom door opened again, faster this time. The smell of butane and sulfur was stronger. The shadowy mass was back, and I felt the air shift as the figure moved closer to my bed. I heard a sound I knew, the distinct, worn creak of the third-floor stair, the one leading up to the attic where my dad kept his old army gear and my brother, Chris, used to hide his secret comic books. The intruder wasn't coming for me. They were using my room as a shortcut, heading to the attic staircase hidden behind a false panel in my closet. They moved past my bed, the shadow momentarily engulfing me, and the light flicked on one last time, just enough to illuminate one detail. The figure's hand was gloved, and in it, they held the corkboard's missing list. Then the figure was gone. I heard the muffled footsteps ascending to the attic, followed by the quiet click of the attic door latch. Second twist, the message. I lay there utterly numb. An hour later, the attic door opened, and the figure descended. They paused by my bed again, and this time, a hand gently laid something on my pillow before they retreated. The footsteps went downstairs, the quiet, deliberate click of the front door returned, and the house was silent again. Minutes later, the front door burst open, and I heard my parents' real voices, panicked and loud. Chris was stabilized, but they were still terrified. My mother immediately realized the horror. They'd rushed out to the hospital and left the front door unlocked. The terror wasn't the theft, nothing was taken. The terror was the knowledge that a stranger had been in my room. "Dad?" I whispered, holding up the object left on my pillow. It was an old, brass Zippo lighter, engraved with the initials CM, my brother Chris's initials. Pinned underneath the lighter was the list they took from the corkboard. It was an ordinary grocery list, except for one line circled in red ink. "Call Dr. Miles about Chris's meds." Beneath it, handwritten in the intruder's deep, scratchy hand, was a single word: "He's lying." The missing decade. The police found no forced entry, only the unsettling trace of sulfur in the air. My parents were distraught, dismissing the note as a lunatic's rambling. They refused to talk about Dr. Miles. Years passed. The memory became a scar. I never told anyone about the attic. The confession. 10 years later, I'm packing up Chris's old room. He's moved out and is getting married. I pull out the antique steamer trunk we used to hide in as kids. Beneath a stack of old comics, I find a worn photo. A man, impossibly tall, standing beside my father at what looks like a military base. The man in the photo is holding a Zippo lighter identical to the one left on my pillow. Taped to the back of the photo is a note, written in my father's handwriting. I have to tell you the truth about Chris, eventually. He wasn't in a car accident that night. It was an intervention. I went to the attic that night and found the proof. The list on the corkboard was confirmation. The man in the dark, he wasn't a stranger. He was my contact, sent to deliver a message and take the truth. He used the front door because he had a key I gave him a decade ago, one for emergencies I never canceled. The only reason he moved slowly was because he didn't want to wake you. I never heard his voice. You did. I look at the photo again. The tall man's initials on his uniform jacket are CM. My brother, Chris, was not my parents' only son named Chris. The terror wasn't the intruder. The terror was that my dad knew he was there, and the intruder was a ghost from a decades-old life, moving through the house with a familial key, trying to warn an 8-year-old child about her father's secrets. The caregiver's ledger. I had 9 years of experience as a direct care aide, DCA, but nothing prepared me for my one and only shift with Martha. She was 65 with developmental disabilities and dementia. Her daughter, Colleen, told me Martha occasionally walked around at night, confused, and I just needed to calm her down. Colleen gave me the tour. The downstairs was remodeled, but the upstairs was original, dusty, smelling of old paper and mothballs. She pointed out a peculiar detail. Martha's favorite thing is her old music box on her dresser. It's broken, but she carries it everywhere. If she's panicking, just let her hold it. Around 9 p.m., Martha was settled upstairs. I was in the living room trying to unwind after a double shift, exhausted beyond words. The first disturbance was an hour in. I was getting a sandwich from the fridge when I saw Martha standing in the kitchen doorway, fully dressed, her eyes wide and panicked. I jumped, dropping the plate and sandwich, which exploded in a spray of ceramic shards and food. Martha didn't react to the noise. She just screamed, "Who are you?" "I don't know you." I managed to calm her and put her back in her room, giving her melatonin. I noticed her music box wasn't on her dresser. It was sitting on the floor by the window. I picked it up and placed it next to her. I was so drained, I decided to take a quick nap in the spare room upstairs, leaving the door slightly ajar so I could hear her. The oven and the secret recording. I was asleep for less than an hour. I woke up not to a shout, but to a terrifying rhythmic sound coming from downstairs. A deep, hollow boom. 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 Every second or two vibrating up through the floorboards. I crept downstairs. The noise was coming from the kitchen. Peering around the corner, I saw Martha, a dark, motionless silhouette in front of the unlit oven. She was repeatedly, violently opening and slamming the metal oven door shut. Boom, as if trying to dislodge something trapped inside. "Martha!" I shouted. She stopped instantly. She turned, facing me, and slowly, silently shut the oven door one final time. She walked right up to me, her face now close enough to see in the faint light. Her eyes were not confused. They were blank, empty pits. She walked right past me, up the stairs, and slammed her bedroom door. Unnerved, I followed her. I opened her door just a crack. Martha was not in bed. She was standing perfectly still at the side of her twin bed, staring directly at the wall. I coaxed her back into bed and left, but I couldn't sleep. The broken music box. I heard a faint, high-pitched whine from Martha's room. I crept back in. The sound was coming from the broken music box on her dresser. It wasn't playing a tune, it was a steady, electronic hiss. I picked it up. It felt wrong, heavier than it should. I pried open the decorative back panel. Inside, there was no winding mechanism, just a small, sophisticated digital recorder. I hit play. A low, muffled recording started. It wasn't Martha's voice. It was Colleen's voice speaking calmly, "And you just need to keep repeating, Who are you? I don't know you. Do it louder this time, Mom. The recording cut out. My blood ran cold. Colleen wasn't just managing Martha, she was rehearsing her. The closet and the double identity. I stared at the ceiling for what felt like forever before exhaustion finally claimed me again. When I woke up this time, the room was black, the alarm silent. Something had shifted in the air. My gaze snapped to the closet. The door was slightly cracked, and an inky shadow of a head was slowly, methodically peeking out from the gap, watching me. Martha. The door was shoved open. She walked toward the bed. "Who are you?" screamed, starting low and building in pitch. I fumbled for the lamp and finally got it on. The harsh light illuminated Martha holding a massive, gleaming kitchen knife. At that moment, she ceased being a patient and became an assailant. I didn't try to reason or calm her. I vaulted out of bed, putting the mattress between us. She lunged, the knife slicing a swift, wet arc through the air right where I had been. I ran. Downstairs, I grabbed my keys. As I reached the front door, I saw a photo on the hall table I hadn't noticed before. A wedding picture. The caregiver's history. The groom was a stranger. The bride was Colleen. And the woman standing between them, smiling, was me, the DCA. Not me now, a younger version of me wearing a different, faded uniform. The caption beneath the photo read, "Colleen and Mark, 2010. With our favorite DCA, Sarah." My name wasn't Sarah. My name was Rachel. I had forgotten the double shift, the exhaustion, the melatonin. The truth slammed into me. I was the one with dementia. The person who walked through the front door for this shift was Sarah, a former DCA who had worked for the family years ago. The panic and confusion, the exhaustion, the belief that I was a stranger, it was my dementia, not Martha's, that was causing the break. I looked down at the keys in my hand. They weren't my keys. They were the keys to Sarah's old car. The true assault. I hear the heavy, familiar boom. 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 Again, only now it's coming from upstairs in the spare room I just fled. I turn back, terrified, and see a tall figure in the kitchen doorway. It's not Martha. It's Colleen. She is holding an identical kitchen knife. The unmasking of the villain. Colleen's eyes are wide, not with fear, but with cold, calculated rage. "You came back, Sarah," she hisses. "I knew you would." The door was unlocked for Martha's routine, but it was an invitation for you. Colleen drops the knife and points to the oven. "You remember what you did in that kitchen 10 years ago, don't you, Sarah? That wasn't Martha banging the oven. That was me trying to draw you out of the spare room. I didn't expect you to forget who you were." The pieces click into place. Martha's confusion was real, but the knife attack was Colleen's plan, staged to look like a patient's psychotic break. Colleen was using the "Who are you?" recording to confuse the current DCA, but when I, Sarah, showed up instead, she panicked. I run out the door and sprint down the driveway, but I don't call Colleen. I call the police. I scream into the phone, "She's trying to frame me. She's got a knife." When the police arrive, they find Martha peacefully asleep, the image of innocence. Colleen is calm, tearfully telling them that her mother, Martha, had a sudden psychotic break. The police find the knife by the bedside table. They also find the music box/recorder that I had dropped. They play the recording, but the clip is different. It's Martha's real voice, weak and confused. "Colleen, I told you I saw Sarah again. She's forgetting things. Please don't let her come back here." Colleen looks at the police, then right at me, Sarah, and smiles a sickly, sweet, perfect daughter's smile. That's my mother's dementia. She thinks the new aide is the old one who stole from us years ago. We've been trying to keep track of Sarah since she was fired. I look at the keys to Sarah's old car in my hand. I have no memory of stealing, no memory of being fired. But the knife, the recorder, the picture, all the evidence points to Sarah, the volatile former DCA. I realize I ran, not from an attacker, but into a trap 10 years in the making, set by a daughter who knew my deteriorating mind would perfectly cover for her deadly revenge.